Welcome to Discover Indie Film. I'm Jeff Howard, and I'm very happy on Zoom. I've got Daniel DelPurgatorio and Todd Friedman. Hey, you two.
Hello.
How's it going?
And the first voice was Todd. The second voice was Danny. And thankfully, you two sounded differently enough. I did actually once have identical twins on the podcast.
Oh.
And
they talk the same?
They sound well, yeah. I mean, it was. I should have asked one of them to use like a fake accent.
Yeah,
so tell them apart. But you two are on the Discover Indie Film podcast because your film Marshmallow comes out on VOD June 6th. You've already had a little theatrical run for this highly well-reviewed horror feature. And if people want to learn all about the two of you and the film Marshmallow, they should listen to the podcast before this one. That was a nice long interview about both of you and Marshmallow. This podcast is a fun little diversion. It's just fun to chat about movies and find out what kinds of films inspire people. So this is called a 4 questions episode, which means you will both take turns answering. Name 3 favorite films, name an underrated film, name an overrated film, and name a lesser-known film for people to seek out. It's really just an excuse to shoot the shit. I have a friend who's a professional drummer, and his entire life is just throwing these questions at people about music, and he just goes, Neil Peart of Rush is the most overrated drummer of all time. Challenge me. So I was like, okay, I'm going to steal James's thing and use it for film. So which of you would like to, and the questions are kind of intentional. Like, I know it's the shittiest thing in the world to ask someone to name like the 3 best films of all time. So that's why it's just like 3 favorites, just 3 films you love. No pressure. And if you need to add an extra, feel free. So who wants to go first with 3 favorites?
I could. Todd, do you want me to go first? You want to go first?
Yeah, you're the artiste. You go first.
Okay. Yes, this is the hardest thing that you could ask any person, I think, because I could be here all day talking about my favorite movies. I think some films that I like that have had some, I've had a connection with or have inspired me in one way or another. I would say Alien. I love Alien, saw it when I was young. And Jaws, I think those are probably both like tied. The Back to the Future trilogy, all 3 of them as one movie. I love those films as well. And more recently, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. That is one of my favorite films.
It's one of the greatest films ever made.
Yeah, love it.
And I guess I should mention to those who can't see us because we're on Zoom, but you do have a wonderful background for your Zooming, which is a lot of truly excellent movie posters, including Eraserhead and Rosemary's Baby. I can see Altered States over there.
Yeah, Possession. Peaks, Videodrome.
There you go. Some definite 80s represented. I love it.
Yeah. Yep. Sticking to what I grew up with, you know.
Excellent. And I'm even gonna leave you alone about Back to the Future trilogy. So you see all 3 as one piece. As one piece,
yeah. I love those movies. Again, I think I remember seeing the first one, close to when it came out, and it was, again, unlike anything I had seen before in like popular blockbuster type style film. And that's a movie, all 3 of those movies I've watched hundreds of times. Like, I think all the movies that I've listed, I've watched hundreds of times. Like, I just love them. And I have a lot of other films, like you mentioned, that I've watched a ton as well. But those just all, like, when I watch them, I just have that feeling. There's just a feeling inside you that, like, you're reminded of a specific place and a time in your life, and I always say, like, all movies are like your own personal documentary because you could put it on and think about something that was happening to you. And I think that's what's exciting about film and art in general.
Absolutely. All right. Todd, do you want to give 3 of your faves?
Sure. 3 favorite films, I would say, are, I'm a comedy guy, so Ace Ventura, first one of my favorite films. Love old school. And then getting out of comedy, I'm going to go Zero Dark 30. I think I've watched that like 30 times in the past like 2 years.
I greatly appreciate the nod to comedy because, right? I mean, horror gets dissed by it gets a little dissed on the respect thing. People respect it as a genre, but I mean, it's pretty rare for a horror film. But actually, I still think you got a better shot at an Oscar with a horror film than a comedy.
100%.
Yeah.
And I think anyone who's ever tried to make comedy knows it's the hardest thing in the world.
So tough.
You cannot fake a laugh. And Ace Ventura, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Both that and Old School. I actually think the Ace Ventura sequel is also one of the funniest things I ever sat through. But
it's got some interesting moments, that's for sure.
Does it have the rhino? It's got the rhino.
The rhino,
The rhino,
come on.
The pregnancy scene. It's just like, oh man, I remember.
The scene when he takes on Tommy Davidson and gets darts in his legs.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Wonderful. Love that classic Jim Carrey gets mentioned. And of course, Old School. Just can't beat it.
I mean, when I get a mean email from opposing counsel in a case, I have a saved already then GIF that I just send right back at the guy instead of being a jerk back. You know what I mean? That's what I do.
That is your professional life. I love it.
Yeah, no, I'm a pro.
Well, that's fantastic. All right, well, Danny went first for question 1, so that means Todd goes first for question 2, which is a film that you feel is underrated.
Yeah, I'm going to stick in the comedy category here. I'm going to go Ski School. Back in the 80s, one of my favorite movies in high school, Dean Cameron. Doesn't get a lot of love as a classic, but to me, it is a classic.
So good.
I think Dean Cameron, that's the dude from Summer School also?
He is in Summer School.
Summer School. I used to get mistaken for him back when I had hair.
I'm looking at a current picture of him now because I forget his name on Google, and I can see the resemblance.
Well, Todd doesn't want to say we only did this podcast because we thought you were him. So
yes.
Yeah.
Almost believable. I mean, I'm more tan, but otherwise, no, literally when I was, in the 90s, like people would be like, wait a minute. Oh, you're not. And literally I had somebody say, well, Dean gets a lot of ladies, so hopefully it'll help you. And I was like, yeah, he's got better game than me. I'm sure it's all personality. But funny thing is, when you mentioned Ski School, I didn't see it. I still can remember what the VHS tape looked like on the wall at the video store.
Yep. That's how we used to rent movies back in the day. That was the best, going to Blockbuster or wherever, and you'd pick something based on the video cassette, the artwork, and then you'd read the back and you'd look at the warning, if rated R, what does it have in it? And then that's what you would get,
And I would bet $50 that on the Ski School cover there is someone in a bikini, even though it's a ski movie.
Or a fluorescent ski suit, yes.
Yeah, it was the 80s.
They had that great It's Always Sunny episode where they went to the ski slopes and they kind of like played up the whole, ski school thing, which is awesome.
Oh my God, It's Always Sunny is just like amazing.
I love it. My favorite.
All right, well, Danny, now you get to name one that's underrated.
I would say Ravenous. I love that movie. I saw that movie randomly on VHS tape with a buddy of mine. We had a sleepover and he put it in, and I could not believe that I had never heard of it, which was crazy.
Is that the Robert Carlyle's in it?
Yeah. It's really great. I think it was 99, somewhere in there, 98, 99, like right before 2000.
Yeah, like right after he got a little big with Train Spotting, I think.
Yes, yeah. I think that was like shortly after. And I don't even remember, like I'm pretty good at remembering like when movies were in theaters or like when I would see a trailer and I just don't remember ever seeing that. And he put it in, and my buddy put it in. I was like, holy shit, this is awesome. And it's got the soundtrack is amazing. And it's like a weird horror, dark comedy. Like it just meshes all this bizarre stuff together. It's like a cannibalistic movie, a war movie. Yeah, really
That's
cool.
the part I remember. I remember that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, it's been, at least nearly 30 years. So, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Danny, you get to go first with a film you feel is overrated. And you seem like nice people, so I'll just add that you're not saying bad.
Yeah.
In fact, your overrated film could be a film that you consider a great film. It's just, sometimes something gets more awards than it deserves, or, I always get uppity, if my favorite Coen Brothers movie no one names, and my least favorite Coen Brothers movie might have won Best Picture, and I'm like, well, it's a great movie. It's just, why did it win Best Picture? So anyway, that's my preamble.
I'm going to lean on something that everybody talked about that I did not see for so many years, and I saw it later in life, and I still think this, The Notebook. Like, I know that has a very specific place, and it came from a very specific place, and I know that people fucking love that movie. It was never my thing, and I watched it later. I'm like, yeah, doesn't seem, I just don't understand, and that's kind of where I'll leave it. I just don't understand.
So you're kind of recommending I don't get around to watch. I still haven't seen it myself.
I honestly couldn't tell you anything about it because I don't remember. Like I watched it. I think I watched it with my wife, and I was just like, I remember like afterwards, like, yeah, this is why I didn't watch it, but it was huge. And still is huge.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, Todd, you get to do overrated.
Thought I went already.
Oh, you did?
No, I'm just kidding.
You didn't.
I was hoping to
but you
avoid
can
it.
dodge. If you're like all film is of quality and
No, I don't want to be that guy. I mean, look, if I have to do this, I would probably say, I'd probably have to say more recently Long Legs, and it's only because it was the best trailer I have ever seen. And I saw the trailer probably like 100 times, and it just made me want to see the movie so badly. And obviously, you see a trailer that many times, and you go see the movie. It's not as what you were expecting just because of the trailer. I just thought that trailer was amazing, and I like Long Legs. So that's the only reason.
Agreed. And there's just too many festival submissions for me to see many new movies these days. But you're not the first person to put Long Legs as they're overrated, and I think it is sometimes it's the expectations game, right? When the expectations get raised, it really has an effect.
I mean, whoever did that trailer, any trailer, if we can ever afford it, I mean, we would want them to make our trailer. It was just that good, that trailer.
Yeah, beautiful trailer.
Excellent.
It's funny with more independent film, more so than blockbusters. I feel that like at certain points, at certain times, when movies are coming out, like people latch onto hardcore latch onto movies before they come out, and they become a thing. You know what I mean? And it's interesting how that happens, and I don't know why or what it is that does that, but I feel that a lot of, even on some Best Picture films over the last handful of years, dating back to the early 2000s, I feel like people have like grabbed onto something and like, this is the movie. And then everybody, grabs onto it. And even when they see it, if it's not fantastic, it's still the movie, which is weird.
It is. Things lock in. And also, right, there's groupthink and people are afraid to challenge conventional wisdom.
Yep.
I'll just mention that the trailer thing is huge. At the festival level, it often breaks my heart because we do an opening night gala and we show the trailers on a wall of this huge space. And all the time, there are trailers that do not do the films justice because when someone tries to get their own trailer, it's really a totally different skill making a trailer.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Yeah, it is. You're telling the whole movie in 90 seconds without telling what the movie is. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah, and if you're the creator of the film, really, what perspective do you have, like to get people who've never heard of the film and never heard of you to be interested? Like that's, I mean, you're inside the forest, right?
Yeah. Yeah, same thing with editors on movies in general. Like I love editing and I edit a lot. I one time edited a film that I shot, a short film that I shot, and I remember like spending all this time on a scene and I like sat back and pushed play. I watched it. I'm like, "Yep, that looks like what I just edited." Like I had no perspective on it at all, you know? And it's nice to have somebody come in from with a different perspective and not knowing any baggage, you know, like they don't know how long a certain shot took or anything, and they just do what they think is right, which is cool. And then as a creator, you get to watch it with fresh eyes at least once. Same thing with trailers. Like it's exactly what you're saying. It's you're getting somebody that doesn't have any, they're not latched onto it, you know, and they just do what they think is cool.
Absolutely. All right. Well, last question is a lesser known film for people to seek out, and I'm pretty sure Todd goes first.
I'm going to go with a film recently released called Black Diamond, actually. It is a film starring Jake McLaughlin and Inbar Lavi. It's like a fatal attraction on skis, released by Brainstorm. And it's a cool little movie. And the producers, really familiar. I forgot who it was. I think it's Hemlock Circle Productions, hot little company. Just released that film in January, so I think people should go see it. It's on Amazon Prime and Apple, all the streamers right now.
I think I read a review of Black Diamond that said it's the best ski movie since Ski School.
That could have been a non-paid, review.
I could go write that review. I'll go write that review right now.
That would be amazing.
Why not? You must love skiing.
I do.
Wonderful. All right. Well, Danny, you get to name a lesser known film for people to seek out.
I have two. The first one is called Chaser. It is a South Korean film, came out in 2007, 2008, 2009, somewhere in there. And it's awesome. It's a thriller, action, horror type film. And I remember I saw it after I saw the film. I saw The Devil, which I love, is a fantastic film. Somebody had recommended The Chaser to me, and when I was in Korea, I bought a bootleg, or not a bootleg, but for me it was a bootleg copy of it, and it's awesome, really really cool. And then another film which I love is Cure. And that was in mid 90s, I think 95 or 96, somewhere in there. Very psychological film, really cool.
You said it's Cured with a D at the end?
Cure.
Cured.
Yeah, Cure.
Cure.
Yeah.
Got it.
Kurosawa directed, not the Kurosawa we all know, Kiyoshi Kurosawa. He directed it. He's done a bunch of really great films, but that is just a really, really good movie.
Now's where I confess that, like, I missed the boat on a lot of Asian cinema, and now I feel like I would just have to retire and devote myself to it to really, 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 dive into that pool and enjoy it, because there's so much great work from Korea and Japan and China.
Amazing. It was like in the, I'd say 99, give or take. It's like the internet is starting to just be a thing, at this time. And you would hear, it was like when the original Ring came out, and there was like a handful of these films that were coming out that you would hear about from a friend. You didn't see it on the internet really. And I remember figuring out how to hack a Blu-ray player or a DVD player to play all region. And I was in college, spending all my money just buying bootlegs from overseas for films, and the distributors at the time of these places you're buying them from are like, "Oh, if you like this movie, you would like these 12." And I was like, "Okay, cool." And I found so much cool stuff. It's great that all this stuff is accessible now, but back in the day, there was part of the excitement was the hunt, right? Like finding bands. You'd see a band on tour, an opening act on tour that you never heard of before. You buy a CD or a record at the show, or finding a movie from somebody telling you, or you got something randomly. Like that was really exciting. It's much different now, but I used to love that.
It is you. You are preaching to the choir. I've got quite a few opening band CDs and on the shelf because it's always special.
Yeah, wearing a shirt. I remember buying like a shirt for a band that I saw, and people were like, "Oh, who's that band?" It's like, "Oh, I saw them with so and so like last year," and you would just have to wait till they hopefully came around again. Like that's how you did it.
Yeah, or pray. A funny thing at the film festival level is we get a good number of music documentaries, and sometimes there's a music documentary about a band that never made it.
Yeah,
and the music's amazing and the story's amazing, and you're just like, geez, what does it take for music to break through now? It's I feel really bad for, I know that there's groups of people probably under 21 in garages all over the world making music I would want to listen to.
yeah.
And they've got no way to get to my nearly 60-year-old years. It just like how are they going to get to music fans like us?
Yeah, a really great music documentary that I don't know if you've ever seen, but you should check it out. It's called Driver 23. That came out in probably early 2000s. It was about this band called Dark Horse from Minneapolis, I think, or something like that. And the main dude that's in the band, he suffers from lots of different conditions, but he starts this band, and it's a documentary about him and these guys that he plays with trying to record their first album and play shows. And it is so good. It's funny. It's great. It's very weird. It reminds me of like American movie, like that type of a thing. But yeah, check it out. It's really, really cool.
Excellent. I'm going to have to mention one too then, right before we sign off, which is There's a film called Party Dream, which I believe people can watch on those AVOD services now, the streamers with ads. But Party Dream is a documentary that Sherman Oaks Film Festival did play, I think 2 or 3 years ago. And it's about a band called Gil Manterra's Party Dream out of Youngstown, Ohio, that nearly made it. Like they were on the second stage at Coachella and shit like that, or they were part of the Warped Tour.
Yeah.
They were so close, and it was about two brothers, and like they nearly made it. And well, needless to say, it's just an amazing documentary and amazing. The funny thing is, I made my wife watch it, and then she just pulled out her phone and started Shazamming their songs during the documentary. Yeah. And now whenever she randomly plays her Shazam list, I'll hear this Gil Manterra's Party Dream band, and I'm like, the only reason this music is playing in our home is because of cinema. Because it's wonderful. Yeah, the marriage of music and film is so great.
Yeah, that's the best part of it. Yeah, so cool.
All right, well, I will wrap us up. First of all, thank you, Todd. Thank you, Danny, for being on here.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Everyone can learn about Marshmallow if you just go to the show notes, whatever app or website, or however you're listening to this. Go to the show notes to learn more about the movie Marshmallow. It's funny because I'm like weird about pronunciation. I always want to say Marshmallow.
Yeah, it's funny because it's spelled that way, but you say it the way that you think you should spell it that you don't.
Yeah.
Every time somebody writes about the film to us, it's spelled a different way. Like 10 different ways I've seen people write Marshmallow, which is funny.
It is funny. It's that's probably a good test. But before the kid goes to college, I should say to her, "All right, spell marshmallow right before you get in the car."
Yep.
And if she spells it wrong, I'm going to be that super cool person who corrects her. No. So anyway, all right. So listeners, check the show notes. Check out the film Marshmallow. You can catch it all over on VOD. If people know what VOD means, right? It just means it's currently rentable. And I will stress, if you're listening to the Discovery Indie Film podcast, you should respect the fact that if, I don't know what the fee is, but it's not a ton, right? It's probably $5.99, maybe $7.99. It's not like, paying to watch an indie film is kind of like being a wonderful human being. Like you're part of the solution. So,
Yes.
I get it. I get it that people want to just watch shit for free. But that's okay for the stuff that Amazon and Netflix produce with their billions. Yeah. When people make indie films from their hearts, go ahead and pay that VOD fee. All right. So that's I'll get off that soapbox and wrap it up with I already thanked Todd and Andy. So now I will thank everyone who is listening. Please like and subscribe. If you want to learn more about this podcast or the TV series that was born out of it, go to discoverindiefilm.com. On social media, it's always at DIFwins. This whole thing got started because I got involved in and I'm running 2 film festivals. That's the Sherman Oaks Film Festival that we hold every December. You can learn more at ShermanOaksFF.com and at ShermanOaksFF on social media. The sister festival is Film Invasion Los Angeles. You can learn more if you go to filminvasionla.com, and it's at Film Invasion LA on social media. Both are in the top 100 best reviewed festivals list out of 14,000 in the world, so we're happy about that. And I called them sister festivals. I'll quickly mention their cousin in Lima, Peru is going to be Film Invasion Lima in January 2026. So if you live in South America or if you live somewhere that's really chilly and cold, remember, south of the equator, January is summer. So it's going to be beautiful down there and probably not so beautiful where we live. So, all right. Thank you, Danny. Thank you, Todd.
Thank you.
And thank you, everyone, for listening.